As a Grandmaster player in Marvel Rivals, Doctor Strange served as an effective and game-changing vanguard when played right. With a massive team-protecting shield, teleportation, and other techniques that separate the character from others, Doctor Strange is certainly a one-of-a-kind vanguard character. Let's get straight into Doctor Strange's abilities and how to play the character. Doctor Strange's main ability that separates him from the other tanks in the game is a retractable and constantly usable shield named the Shield of Seraphim. Unlike Magneto, who can use his shield temporarily, or Emma Frost, who has to place her immobile shield, Strange's shield protects him from all-range firepower and can be activated and deactivated whenever necessary. However, it does have some caveats to it. The shield can be negated by melee attacks. Characters like the Hulk, the Thing, and Magic, all of whom use melee attacks as their main damage dealing moves, completely negate the shield. However, these characters need to come close to do so, which is Doctor Strange's effective range. Strange's shield has 800 health and can be broken with a lot of concentrated fire, leaving Strange vulnerable if broken at the long range. It's important to note that Strange is most effective in the short range. There is an essential combo to constantly keep in mind, which we will get to very soon. His primary fire is the Daggers of Danak. The attack is effective in the close and medium range, however it's ineffective in the long range. It does not go that far. Strange will always need to get closer to his target before engaging in a fight. Using his shield is the best way to get closer without taking too much damage. However, it is important to preserve your shield's health sometimes, as once broken, it does have a bit of a cooldown to recharge and come back with a little more health. His melee attack is his Magic Whip, and this attack is something that a Strange player would use a lot. So what's his main combo? Strange's Whip and Daggers of Danak build up his Maelstrom of Madness. You can see this little eye icon in the middle of the screen, which builds up to 100. The more you attack with the Daggers of Danak and the Whip, the more build up you get. The Whip adds 10 while the Daggers add 15. The more the Maelstroms build up, the higher the damage you can output. Another thing to note is that the move is an AoE attack, otherwise known as an Area of Effect attack. An attack that damages all players in the close range. It's very effective in taking out characters that are hard to hit, such as Spider-Man or Black Panther when they're diving. So the combo goes something like this. For every hit, shooting the Daggers of Danak, then hitting your enemy with the Whip helps maximize damage in a shorter duration, given that the Daggers of Danak is a bit of a slow move. Between each use of the move, there's a bit of a startup. So combining both attacks will help you dish out a lot more damage and also build up your Maelstrom of Madness even faster, to constantly pump out damage. A common trick to use with the shield in the medium range is sort of like corner peeking, except it's with your shield. While this trick may seem ineffective, it's actually not. As of May 2025, there is no downside to constantly going back and forth between the Daggers of Danak and your shield. It helps you block all incoming projectile damage between the usage of your Daggers of Danak and also do some damage back. A very important thing to note, the higher you get up the competitive ladder, is that the shield does not build up your ultimate charge, which is a massive downside given that a lot of his tanking will probably happen with his shield. So in the medium range, when your healers are behind you and you're confident in the ability of your healers, hopping around and using your Daggers of Danak is ideal. To not only build up your ultimate, but also the ultimate charge of your supports. While yes, there are certain instances when the shield is absolutely necessary, say a sharpshooter like Hawkeye, Black Widow, who can easily take out your healers from a long range. His flight ability lets him shoot up into the air and float for a good amount of time. This is mainly a defensive maneuver, but also lets you go over the enemy tanks and flank into the backline if needed. However, a huge downside is that as a tank, your job is to protect your healers. Floating up will leave them vulnerable unless another tank is frontlining with you. This is a perfectly fine strategy to use. Another use for jumping up is when taking a significant amount of damage. Going up will divert the attention from you, especially if using a shield. It's practically impossible to hurt you when you're up there, unless a character has a long-range melee attack. A common combo is combining the flight with the ultimate to take out your enemy's backline. Speaking of which, it's time for his ultimate. Doctor Strange's ultimate is the Eye of Agamotto, and again, it is a massive game-changing ultimate. It stuns all characters in range for roughly 3 seconds, which lets you follow up with attacks of your own. It's important to note that certain abilities of yours will hit a little harder, like the Maelstrom of Madness when doing the Eye of Agamotto. While this may seem quite limited, being able to stun fragile characters like supports and DPS lets you easily take them off the board, even letting your team join in on taking out the stunned enemies. It's important to note that this ultimate is not typically that effective on tanks. While it can work to take them out, its main usage is taking out more fragile characters, since tanks with a lot more health and healers behind them can probably survive the ultimate. Now, another huge huge, unique aspect of Doctor Strange is his portal. Doctor Strange is the only character in the game that can set up one of these portals, letting the entire team move in between far spaces, often using this portal in attacking missions to get to point instantly, and not needing to go through the enemy's front line is the effective way of using the portal. Even using the portal to quickly re-enter a fight after getting KO'd is a great way of using the portal, given that a lot of maps like the Clintar symbiote planet has a long walk back into the fight. Typically, the portal is also used for domination matches, when you might be in overtime and one of your allies is probably fighting tooth and nail just to maintain that overtime. So, all in all, let me know what you think about Doctor Strange down in the comments below. He has recently been nerfed. His offensive potential is a little worse, but he has team ups with Wanda, which makes him a more survivable character with the extra HP. So overall, he's still a very viable option. For those who weren't here before this season, he was damn near the best tank for a long time, and he's still up there. So let me know if this tutorial helped you in any way. If it did, do hit a like button and subscribe down below for more Marvel Rivals content going forward. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.